Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another video. For those of you that have seen my recent review of the Jerven Lookin Original Survival Poncho, please check out this link up here for the full review of this bag. But if you have watched that video, you'll know that I've decided to incorporate this into my general outdoors kit on a permanent basis, because I think it's such a good piece of kit that it deserves a place alongside my other trusty survival items. The majority of my wild camping stroke bushcraft trips are done in fairly civilized parts of the world, so never too far away from civilization. My favourite spot is probably about 3, maybe 4 miles away from the nearest building, so I don't need a huge amount of extreme survival items, just a few good ones just to be sensible basically. In my full Lookin original review, I also went on about the bag that it actually comes in. It's a really good bag, it can be carried horizontally or vertically on a belt, and is just a good size. And as I said in that video, once you take the poncho out of it, it also becomes quite a neat little dump pouch for collecting various bits of tinder, food, or other interesting bits and pieces, etc. So wearing it on my belt, I decided to incorporate a small lightweight survival kit, into the outer pocket. This is the main pocket here, which stores the actual poncho, and then you have this pocket on the outside. Really top-notch quality workmanship throughout the poncho and the bag it comes in, so I thought that's a neat place to store a small survival kit. Now obviously, being limited by the size of that pocket, I was also limited in what I could put in it obviously, so it really made me think about what I would like to have close to my body. Already have a good idea. I've made kits like this before, but you know, making them up is always good practice, and I think this one covers many aspects of, you know, a 72-hour kind of survival kit. Get me home. Right, so starting off with this medical kit. This is just in a locksack bag, which is waterproof to several hundred, 200 feet. Really tough. I've been using these for years, have yet to actually pierce one with anything by accident, and that's, you know, pretty considerable use there, getting bashed around with other bits of kit, etc. So I really do rate these. Nice lightweight waterproofing solution for various pieces of kit. First up in here we have some steri strips, some general purpose waterproof plasters, some powerful codeine based painkiller, some pain relieving burn gel, some finger plasters, and finally some bandage. Now I find, I've said this before, that in the woods your most common injuries are going to be cuts, mechanical injuries, falls, etc., and burns. Unfortunately, I've got first-hand experience of all three on several occasions, and yeah, none of them are pleasant. And although in a small way, you know, if they're not serious, they're still debilitating. Just psychologically, it's there. The small cut on your finger continually pisses you off, nagging little pain sensation. So you want some items to help you deal with that. On the other extreme, if you injure yourself severely and you need to get yourself out, often where I go wild camping there's no phone signal, so you would have to drag yourself to civilization to some extent to get a signal, or, you know, attract some help. But that's the main purpose of these painkillers. These ones have got codeine in them, some cocodamol, I think, Nurofen, you know, available over the counter basically, with no prescription. But I find that these really do help a lot. Also good for toothache, stuff like that. But you know, if you gave yourself a decent wound, this will just help you ignore the pain until you can get yourself treated properly. Several hours supply there. As I said, good for a 72-hour type of kit. Obviously, using fire all the time to cook your food, cook water, harden wood, etc. Chances of burns are higher than normal, so a nice burn gel is always advisable. And for those more serious cuts, you know, you can use some steri strips, or I think they're also known as butterfly sutures. I've had many occasions to use these myself, cutting myself with various knives, etc. Definitely handy to have. And once you've got the wound cleaned out, you know, just pull the skin together and put a few of these over it, and they're very sticky, so usually do hold quite well. And then secure them in place with a bandage. That's my technique anyway. It's worked for me so far. I'm not a medical expert, but I think that's quite a good little ultra lightweight medical kit. Obviously, when I'm out in the woods, I've got a larger backpack with me, and that holds my main medical kit, which is basically similar to this, just more of it to treat more diverse ailments, let's say. So alongside that, we also have a small survival tin. In the US, you'll know this as an Altoids style survival tin, using the Altoids mint tin. But this is a very similar sized tin. I believe this is a 1/2 ounce tobacco tin, readily available everywhere. I've just secured it into place with a Ranger band, also known as a chopped up inner bicycle tire, which also makes a good one-hit wonder for fire lighting, as in tinder. When shredded up finely enough, this will actually take a spark. Doesn't burn for a huge amount of time, but if your wood is well prepared, seasoned, then it should take from just one of these. Onto the outside, just my company logo there, with a couple of pieces of glow-in-the-dark tape here and a reflective one. No purpose, just for a bit of fun. And going into the box, the lid retention is good already, but as I said, just extra secure with the Ranger band. On the inside of the lid here, we have another strip of this highly reflective material. Let's try and demonstrate it. Well, anyway, it shines up nicely when hit with a torch light or any kind of light source, so good for nighttime signalling perhaps. Alongside that, I have 5 strips of high quality Gorilla Tape, you know, duct tape kind of equivalent. Good for patch up jobs. I've used it several times for various bits of kit, including tarp and also a fly sheet, when I've managed to puncture them by accident. You know, excellent multi-use item, and just a small, just enough supply to get you home, so to speak. Also, worst case scenario, holding wounds together if the steri strips aren't doing the job. But hopefully it doesn't come to that, as you can see, there's a rubber seal on the inside of the lid there, giving it a bit of waterproofing and moisture resistance. Got various items in here, stuff that I just like to keep close to me, and great for a little last ditch, last resort micro survival kit is what I'm going to call it. So first up, you never know, could happen to you, but you could be lost. This is a high quality small survival compass, always points north, hopefully. Yeah, little housing there for it, just so you don't lose it as it is so small. And obviously, because I'm a nerd, I had to put some glow in the dark tape in there, just so you can see it at night time. The dots there do glow in the dark as well, so good for preserving your battery, night vision, and for nighttime navigation. It's funny, it's very easy to get turned around, disoriented in a forest, particularly when you've got trees blocking all the major physical features in the area. So stop yourself going around in circles by using a compass. It's got me out of trouble a couple of times, including in an urban situation. I think I've mentioned this before in one of my videos, but basically I was lost in London. I knew which side of the river I was on, and I knew that I had to get near the river to cross, so was able to do that with a compass, in fact with this compass, so nice to have it around. If you get into a spot of bother and need to attract attention, my trusty old howler whistle. Had this thing for years, probably the first survival whistle I ever bought, and still love it now. I mean, it's a hard wearing piece of kit for sure, unlikely to ever break. Really loud, triple note, I think it's about 120 decibels rated out or something. Obviously using a whistle over shouting is preferable, as it saves a lot of energy. Of course, what survivally kit would be complete without some kind of fire lighting tool? This is the MicroTon Fire Steel, another glow in the dark tab on the back end of it, just to help you find it, with a piece of Spectra orange survival cord, nice quality, and definitely high vis survival orange in colour, so if you drop it on a woodland floor you will be able to find it again. Completely unused, high quality ferrocerium stock there, good for 3,000 strikes or thereabouts according to the manufacturer. Yeah, so obviously definitely good to have an item for fire lighting. Next up, let's see now, we'll go for some more micro light sticks, Chem Sticks, however you want to call them. Several different colours there. Each one burns for approximately 4 to 8 hours, giving you enough light to do up close tasks with, mark a path, make yourself more visible. So very lightweight solution with a very long shelf life, so always there for when you need them. Because I am in woodland environments most regularly, and just generally because I think fire is one of the most important tools you can have out in the wilderness, I have actually got a brass peanut style lighter here. I haven't refueled this in about 3 months and we still have instant flame, so that's always good. Obviously the O-rings are working nicely. So there we have it, instant fire if you can't be bothered or are unable to get a fire going with the fire steel. And of course, another vital part of any survival kit will be a cutting tool, and this is a little creation of my own. It's a 3D printed knife handle, just for a small Opinel blade. Just friction to hold it in place, no locking mechanism whatsoever. Carbon steel blade, very easy to sharpen, keeps a keen edge for a good while. Very thin, so not the best survival style item, but this has a dual purpose, which is it makes for a very good fire steel scraper. In this position, with it closed within the handle, simply strike like so. Anyone that knows Opinels and has used them in that capacity knows that they are probably one of the best fire steel strikers out there. Wanted a nice slimline low profile handle to fit neatly within the box, so I came up with this. Got some aluminium tubing there in the lanyard hole, and a nice quality stainless steel screw. It's not much, but it will do the job in a pinch, and is perfect for, as I said, using as a fire steel scraper, preparing tinder and cutting rope, anything along those lines. So that's my little modified op. Next up, we have a small vial of surgical spirit. So I think that's like 99% proof or something along those lines, alcohol. So perfect for cleaning out a cut before applying any of the bandages, etc. Alternatively, also makes for a great ignition source for fire steel. Drench anything with this and it will go up instantly. So that's a nice multi-use item in a little vial, which is obviously watertight and stays in there for ages. As a last ditch, you could even use it to fuel up the lighter. Would evaporate really quickly, but you could probably get a few seconds of flame out of it. Next up, we have a great little emergency torch, LRI Photon Freedom, one of the coolest survival lights out on the market. So that's the LRI Photon, a really cool little light. I really love this thing ever since my first one. Bought this for family members and my girlfriend, and everyone loves it basically, and I have to agree, it is one of the neatest designs. In true all outdoor one style, I've obviously given it a little glow tab on there just for fun, but also it comes in its own little housing, which you can run a lanyard through and wear it around your neck, for example, but just pulls off neatly. But this housing also stops accidental activations of the button, so it always has plenty of juice when you need to use it. Haven't found that battery leakage is a particular problem. It's never happened as yet. So there's just a nice lighting source. One thing I like about it is you can have the signal mode where it only stays on when you hold it down, but additionally it has a bunch of other modes. One I particularly like is if you just hold it down, it just comes on, just barely, literally a couple of lumens, which has got an absolutely massive runtime and is actually enough to perform close-up tasks at night. So packed full of features there, and yeah, great addition to any little survival kit. And finally in the tin we have a dog tag signal mirror, which has been covered up with several ranger bands just to keep it free from scratches, and yeah, also more tinder if you need to use it for firelighting. I beg your pardon, there was one more item in the tin, and that was a bit of shrink wrap tubing. Inside there is a safety pin and a sewing needle, and obviously with that you will need some cordage. So I have just in the last few days decided to incorporate excuse me, a small spool. This is the Cape Bug spool of Technora 600. This stuff has a breaking strain of 600 pounds, so obviously 50 pounds more than standard 550 paracord, and I didn't want it carried, it just bunched up. So have been looking into various ways of carrying rope. So rather than just hanking it up and tying it off, I think, you know, having it on a spool is actually a neater way to carry it, particularly if you're not going to use the whole length. So this is a little solution that I've come up with. So this will be sitting alongside everything else in the small pocket of the Lookin original. Obviously another reason for needing the cordage, apart from to carry out field repairs, a bunch of other uses including friction firelighting, but more specifically in this kit to enable me to easily hang the Lookin original and to use it as a tarp or shelter, which will just allow me to rig it up quickly and safely. Using the eyelets on the Lookin, I'm playing around with the idea of using these ultralight titanium carabiners to actually make permanent Technora loops, wrapping them around there, so I can quickly and easily use the Lookin interchangeably as a fly sheet or a poncho. So this will just be a quick release system. For example, I've set up camp, it's raining, I need to move and go and fetch something, for example, and I need a poncho. All I have to do is undo 4 clips, put the Lookin on, do what I need to do, get back to camp, and then no faffing around, I can just redo the carabiners and my shelter is set up again. But more on that later. You'll notice there's no specific provisions for water in this kit, apart from the tin, which in itself can be used to boil small amounts of water, you know, half an ounce, I don't know, maybe a mouthful or 2 at a time, but enough to give you some kind of hydration. Obviously, as I said, within my woods kit I have more survival items, including water purification tablets. So as long as I can get back to my rucksack, what the hell's a rucksack? I don't know. As long as I can get back to my rucksack, it won't be a problem. I mean, it's not a huge kit, it's not heavy duty by any means, but basically it's enough to give me some reassurance when I'm out about excuse me, when I'm out and about in the woods by myself. I'll just pack everything up now, and I know a lot of you will be interested in how much this actually weighs, so I will wait for you and find out the exact weight. Right folks, so I'm just going to weigh the various elements of this kit. So the medical aspect, 28 grams. Survival toolbox, 127 grams. And the Technora spool, 33 grams for 10 meters of cordage. So just to quickly analyse what this kit can actually enable me to do. It enables me to stay dry, keep my kit dry, which is vital. It allows me to build a shelter, which is vital. It gives me several options to start a fire, which is vital. It gives me some abilities to heal myself, which is vital. It gives me abilities to trap, which can be vital in a longer term situation. It gives me the ability to perform functions at night because of the lighting options in there. I think, you know, some people argue that that's not an essential survival item, i.e. a light or a light source. However, I would tend to disagree. Ultimately, you could be faced with, you know, 6 to 15 hours of darkness a day. So, you know, having a light source is just a no-brainer to me somehow. Especially in a shorter term survival kit where, you know, batteries aren't going to be an issue. Given the versatility of this bag, you know, it allows me to leave my main rucksack at camp to explore and gather resources. Ultimately, this makes a good bag to store some water in as well whilst you're moving around. Obviously, you'd have to be wearing the poncho. And also, actually, I forgot to mention that the poncho itself can be used to gather water. Obviously, it's a completely waterproof material, so, and is very strong, so it can hold large volumes of water. Equally, let's not forget that these things give you the ability to help others as well if you come across anyone in a spot of trouble. The Lookin can be used as an emergency stretcher if you need to help carry someone out of a situation. Now obviously I wouldn't rely on such a small blade alone, so obviously I have a main blade, which is my trusty old Versatility F1. That's always, I actually keep this in a zippered pocket on my trousers. I know I've been told that's an unusual way to carry it, but I find it always works for me. If I'm ever worried, I can always use a piece of Technora and just attach it to my trouser belt or something like this. But you know, I've been carrying it like this for quite a few years now and have yet to lose it, as you can see. Alongside that, I have a Triton fire lighting tool consisting of high grade Swedish fire steel and 2 magnesium rods, perfect for getting that stubborn tinder to take a flame. Just a nice low profile solution, also glow in the dark tab with reversible reflective tape there. That's just to keep the knife visible next to me when I'm sleeping. That glow lasts all night pretty much, so it's just nice for a bit of reassurance. Nice lightweight solution there, really do rate the Versatility. Obviously alongside that I have a lightweight folding saw, just customized it a little bit in my own style, and this has been another trusty tool for me for many years, and again really do rate that. Good teeth on it, cuts pretty smoothly, and yeah, just works nicely for me. Very lightweight option that. In fact, I'm just going to weigh this quickly and see how much that weighs. 100 grams on the head, so yeah, that's a very lightweight saw option there. Perfect for, you know, small boughs to make furniture, accommodation, or fire. Alongside that, a small sharpening steel. Always good to keep your tools up to scratch, which reminds me I need to sharpen my Versatility up a little bit later on, so I'll be getting on with that. That's not absolutely necessary for short trips, but it's a good option to have overall. Finally, I've got my lighting system, which consists of a headlight, head torch with various modes on it there. Nice simple interface, very compact, so it doesn't really interfere with my head too much when I'm wearing it. Alongside that, I've also got a spare battery in a little waterproof container. I've been in that situation where I'm out in the middle of the woods, gone off path somewhere, and my batteries failed in my light, and then I was stuck looking for a battery in the complete darkness. So I thought, must address that problem, and came up with this solution, and I think it works nicely for me. Obviously, I always have a cooking pot with you, usually use it in conjunction with a meth stove, but ultimately you can use it on an open fire also. Right, so I think I've diverted the flow of this video a little bit. It was mainly just to tell you about this little kit idea I've come up with recently. Some of these items here before I was wearing on the fork and knife sheath that I just showed you. I had most of those pieces attached there with Ranger bands. It was a secure system. In fact, I'll provide a link up here to that video if you are interested in watching it. It was a secure carry option, but made the whole knife and sheath weigh quite a lot. Felt kind of a little bit bulky and cumbersome, so decided that carrying these items in this config would make more sense for me. Anyhow folks, I think I've been rambling on for long enough. You probably all need a toilet break by now. So I'm just going to repack this, and that will be pretty much the end of the video. So I hope you've enjoyed, found it useful and or entertaining. I'll be sure to give you another update on this setup at a later stage. So this is All Outdoor One signing up for now. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate your help and support. It's genuinely appreciated. Signing up for now. Take care, and remember, the best survival tool is ingenuity.